Degas, the great artist, said self-doubt kills ability. Are you impressed that I know about Degas, the great French impressionist? Born 1767, died 1833, created 1,500 impressionist paintings. Do I look like anybody who knows about Degas? Please. I thought his name was Degas. I thought he was from Quincy, Mass. But I got ADD, and so I watch 8 shows at once. So a couple of years ago, I'm clicking in the back, and I stop on public broadcasting for about 30 seconds. And they're doing these biopics of the great artists of all time. So Degas is the guy who paints those brown-tinged ballerina pictures. So in this scene I'm watching for 30 seconds, he's talking to a little ballerina who's obviously struggling with her confidence, and he says, self-doubt kills ability. I said, I'm going to remember that line. Strength-based says every one of these kids has amazing ability, but they won't use it if they don't believe in themselves. And they're not going to believe unless they have people like you and me getting in there every day, showing them, helping them demonstrate that they have these skills. This woman, Beth Caldwell, who changed my life, cited a few anecdotes that speak dramatically to the power of believing in this strength-based approach. First one occurred in elementary school many years ago. School has the most difficult 4th grade class in the history of the school. 2 teachers quit in September because the kids are so unruly. Principal couldn't keep a substitute in the room. He has to keep going in there, and he can barely manage the kids. He's not sure what to do. Maybe break them up. He doesn't know. Early October, he gets a resume from a young woman who never taught a day in her life other than her little internship. He hires her on the spot for the class, doesn't tell her it's the most difficult class in the history of the school. The other teachers complain, how can you do this to her? She'll last 1 day and never teach again. You want to go back in there? Hire her. Sometimes you hire someone to fill a slot. So, mid-October, she strolls in for her very first day of teaching. He escorts her into the room. Kids come in. He leaves. He paces the hallway anxiously, waiting for all hell to break loose. Not one behavior problem the first hour. Says, okay, it's a honeymoon. They're setting her up for something big later in the day. Whole first day goes by without an issue. The teacher room after school, no one could talk about anything else. How could she do that? How could she go a whole day with those monsters? That's impossible. They're setting her up for something big tomorrow, they say. Second day, no problems. Third day, no problems. Week, 2, 3, 4 weeks go by. Not only are there no problems, but the kids start coming to school on time, dressing better, doing their homework. People are flabbergasted. True story. Finally, after 2 months of dramatic turnaround on every single kid, whole group of teachers go en masse to the principal and say, you better get in there. Something illegal's going on in that room. No first-year teacher could do what she's doing without threatening, without bribing. You better get in before something hits the fan. Now, he doesn't want to touch his class with a 10-foot pole, but he reluctantly agrees to see what's going on. So right before the Christmas break, he walks in after another fabulous day, and she notices him. And before he can say anything, she says, oh, Dr. So-and-so, glad you came by. I've been wanting to talk to you for quite a while. He goes, oh, yeah? Well, what? He says, I wanted to come down and thank you for what you did on my first day of teaching. I still get goosebumps when I think about it. Now, he's guilty all this time. He says, thank me for what? Cut it out. You know what you did. He says, fine, I'll tell you, you, Mr. Modesty. You knew I'd be nervous and anxious, having never really taught in a big school before, so what'd you do that first day? He goes, what? You came into my room before the students arrived. You went up to my desk. You took out a big piece of paper, and on that piece of paper, you wrote down the name of every kid in the class. Then right next to their name, you put their IQ number. Then you taped it to my desk, and you waited for me to come in. Well, I'm telling you, doctor, that was amazing. Because you were right. I was nervous. I was anxious. I remember walking into that room, putting my stuff down in the back, nervously approaching the front desk, then seeing this paper, then doing a double take and yelling out loud, can you believe this? My very first class, and he's given me the honor students, the brightest, sharpest kids in the school. And I tell you, Doc, I've been on a high ever since, knowing that you would entrust me with the most precious assets in this building. Doctor, I can't wait to get up in the morning to see these kids. I hate to leave them. 4 times I've wanted to come down and thank you, but I'm so into the group, I stay and eat lunch with them every day. So I go, I don't leave. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you. Hope your faith in me has been well placed. True story, guy can't even talk. He's got this ashen look on his face. Finally, after 2 minutes of utter silence, he looks back at the woman, he says, those were their locker numbers. True story. Why'd those kids do so well? Why'd she do so well? Attitude. What was her experience level compared to all the other teachers in the building? Zip. Yet she did what no one else would do. Let's face it, working with kids or raising your own kids is about one word, probability. I have no clue how the 10 tough kids I'm working with in the school district are going to behave today.